Great morning, everybody. Great morning. Great morning. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Welcome to the Mitch Race podcast, everybody. I am Mitch Race, and this is a really good day for me. It's always a good day for me. I've had a great week. I hope that you all have had a great week. I want to let you know that I see you. I see you. I see you. I'm going to probably make my announcement soon as to what number it is. But if you think that you know actually what number this podcast is, it may surprise you. I actually did not know what number it was. And that's only because I kind of like I guess I sort of like look at it as it's more the journey, and just out of respect, I guess, for the journey. And that's not to say that just because, you don't, if you announce your podcast numbers, that you don't respect your journey. You certainly do. You've earned it. And that's what I was reminded of, the fact that respect the journey, love the journey, um, and you can have actually a better appreciation for what you do and who you've served and how you've served by actually knowing that number. So I want to thank everyone out there for being here. I want to thank you, Trinidad, because I see you, I see you, I see you. Stay inspired. Yes, with Shah. Absolutely. I see you this morning. I want to thank you for being here live from Trinidad this morning. So, if you think you know again what podcast number this is, please put it into the chat. And I guess what we'll do is we will announce that number again soon. But I just want to have a little bit of fun with you all. I see you out there on Facebook. I know that you are there, and I want to thank you for being there. And again, thank you, Instagram, and thank you, YTOGs. Let's get ready to go because we've already been here too long. Happy to see you all. Um, I am Mitch Race. I'm an image strategist, and I help younger males who are on their value journey and seasoned to middle aged males who are distracted, unclear, and don't know their value gain clarity and vision so they can become the best version of themselves while earning their desired high level income to match their image. And before I begin, I want to thank you for allowing me into your home. I want to thank you for allowing me into your headphones, into whatever space it is, honestly, for you. And I want to thank you for trusting me to be a part of your Saturday mornings and your life. Really, you have a part of your investment as you are part of mine each week. And I'd like to start with a question. How many of you, whether live or replay, have had moments of even past seasons of negative thoughts, scarcity thoughts, like, I don't have enough. I never seem to have enough. It's always going to be the same. Nothing is ever going to change. I'll never achieve that goal. I'll never have what they have, if you're into comparisons. I'm not smart enough. I'm not dot, dot, dot. We've all been there. And we go there. And some really live there. And this is not a judgment. This is merely to let you know that you don't have to live there, that we don't have to. Look, I had scarcity mindset for a while. I've had it. There are times that I actually go there too. But there's a difference between, I think, going there from time to time and really understanding that we can't live there, that it's not a way to live. I want to thank you for being here, Karen Smith Frazier. So I guess the goal here is this, is to kind of share with you my journey and my thinking behind scarcity mindset, because it's really been something that I've kind of like been thinking about tackling now for just a short time, but it's really something that it's very serious for me. And if it's serious for me, I know it's serious for someone else out there, because I know what kind of effects it actually has on the mind and on the mindset. And you probably do too when you stop to really, really think about what it is and how it moves. So, that being said, we're going to talk about 5 strategies to subvert scarcity thinking and win the day. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Are you ready for 5 strategies to subvert scarcity thinking and win the day? Because I am really happy and ready to share with you. Before we begin that, I want to actually kind of like level a definition of subvert, and that is to undermine the power and authority of an established system or institution. So, to my viewpoint and this podcast, the system or institution here is an established way of thinking, doing things, believing things, or living, or whatever. Honestly, in that realm, not to kind of like just pass it off as whatever. Didn't mean that, but I'm making it a goal. I'm making my goal to undermine the power, attack, or development of scarcity thinking into a scarcity mindset. Welcome, Stay Sexy Wellness. That is Virginia, Jacksonville. So, strategies to subvert a scarcity mindset and win the day involve shifting your focus from fear and limitation to gratitude and possibility. It's a real mind shift. The core goal is to reframe and retrain your mind to see the world as full of opportunities rather than as a zero sum game. And here I'd like to add this is that scarcity is not always a zero sum game. It's not. Economics deals with scarce resources, but it also explores how to use them to create more value, not just redistribute it. So we're looking at ways to utilize that scarcity thinking in a way, excuse me, and to create more value. We have to explore how to create more value out of that and not and just redistribute it because often it is a matter of economics. It's a matter of what we have, and sometimes we really don't have. But we have to restructure and kind of like reevaluate and rethink the thinking that outthinks us in this case sometimes when it becomes too big and too scary and too powerful. Welcome, Nettie. Welcome from Florida. So here they are. Okay. Let's look at the 5 strategies to subvert scarcity thinking and win the day. Number 1, practice daily gratitude, focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, because that's one of the most powerful ways to counter scarcity thinking. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. I can tell you that that definitely had plagued me, and we're going to go into that. And in doing so, in practicing your daily gratitude, keep a gratitude journal. I would suggest that. That's a really big tip. Each morning or evening, or whenever you can, write down 3 to 5 things that you're genuinely grateful for. It's made a big, big difference in the way that I approach myself, the way I approach others, and the way I approach life. The items can be as simple as having a warm cup of coffee or as significant as a meaningful relationship. You can be grateful for a gift that someone has given you. You can be grateful for a smile that someone has given you. You can be grateful for the smile that you have. It's something that I am grateful for. When I express thanks, I'm really grateful for my smile because I know that when I smile at people, that they receive it in the same way that I'm actually transmitting the smile, and I know that that transmission comes because I am loved, that I am loved, and that I'm here, and that I am blessed, and that I'm highly favored, and that I'm strong, and that I'm confident. So when I smile back, I'm actually giving those energies back to others. And I'm not thinking about myself really, but then I think about myself and I'm like so happy and just so grateful that I had something to be able to give someone even if it's not money. I have something that I can give them. So when we do our gratitude journal, let's try to make sure that we don't have to pack it up and load it up unless that's what you want to do. But if you can just spend just a little bit of time with just a few things, I think that that would be really, really helpful to you. I think be helpful to others. Another way to practice daily gratitude is to focus on specifics. Um, I guess when you're doing your gratitude journal, for one thing, um, or even when you do affirmations. So instead of like focusing, instead of making broad statements, focus on details. For example, instead of writing, I'm grateful for my health, right? I'm grateful for the strong lungs that allowed me to take a walk today. It's just a little bit of an expansion on your expression of gratitude. Number two, reframe limiting beliefs and language. If you had to ask me personally what my biggest struggle was in terms of what led me down the path and created much of my scarcity thinking and turning into a scarcity mindset, which is what happened, it would have had to have been my beliefs at the time and what I said to myself at that time, probably before, but certainly after my self image crisis, my little mini meltdown in the mirror, my little mirror meltdown in a Vegas hotel in 2017. It had become apparent at that time that my mindset had changed. Especially several months later, when I was asked to be a part of something that could and did change my life, but it required an investment in myself. And at that time, I had all kinds of challenges. I had personal challenges, financial challenges, and the financial ones, in my opinion, were really huge challenges. But all of those things resulted in me kind of retracting, shrinking, and developing this mindset of like, no, I'm not going to invest in myself any further right now. I'm going to remain comfortable right where I am, and that's going to have to be okay. And really, I did it in such a way that my mindset was sort of like, well, you're comfortable, you're good, okay, you got a really great career, because I don't consider what I have as a job, but it is a job. But in my career, because I've been there for 23 years, um, it was easy to become comfortable, even though I was making good salary and still making good salary. It's sort of like I just became comfortable with, okay, well, don't you want more? Don't you want to do more? And the only way that you do that is to have the attitude to invest in yourself. But scarcity thinking had started to take root. And scarcity thinking is often rooted in unconscious negative self-talk. Being aware and actively challenging these thoughts is essential. And at that time, I had to I started to change my way of thinking when I was asked to throw my heart over the bar by my mentor, Darren Walker, just one more time. And when I did that, and he did it three times, he actually asked me three times. The third time, at that point in time, and he and I had a conversation, was that God actually told him to ask him one more time, ask him again. And he did. And at that point in time, I'm so grateful that my mindset was actually open to the idea of, yeah, this makes sense. But even at that time, I really did not know how I was going to do it. And that was a challenge for me because I didn't believe that I didn't believe that I did not believe that I had enough. And that even forced me to think that I wasn't enough. And that's the danger, I would say, or at least part of the danger of having a scarcity mindset is because you just don't know when it's going to come and how it's going to hit you and how it's really going to change your thinking and how long it can change your thinking. Because this wasn't just sort of like a conversation that went on for just a day. This was a conversation that went on I don't even know the time period, but I know it went on for a while. And I can tell you that my mindset at that time was really not to go further. And that was because I didn't think that I had enough. And I didn't know how I was going to get it done. I didn't think I had enough money. I didn't think I had enough time. See, scarcity mindset is not just thinking about your money, but it's also thinking about your time. And time is much more valuable than money. So I'd even convinced myself that I don't even have the time to even think about how I'm going to pursue the purpose excuse me, how to pursue the idea of self investment. And by doing that, I almost missed an opportunity. Actually, yeah, I almost missed an opportunity. I dodged a bullet, a scarcity mindset bullet that would have hit me square, and I would not have found my purpose and would not be doing this podcast today if it were not for that. And I've done 87 of these podcasts, in case you did not put that number in and you were wondering. 87 podcasts to the state. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Darren Walker and a community of caring, thriving, productive, understanding, life changing, and contributing icons. And it's a big community. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you out there because you give me purpose. And my purpose is to help you out there. So I'm so grateful. So I say all that to say that, as I said before, that scarcity thinking is often rooted in unconscious, negative self talk. Becoming aware of and actively challenging these thoughts is essential. I had to repeat that, was worth it. So in reframing your limited beliefs and language, question your automatic thoughts. And this is number 2, by the way. When you hear this, when you hear yourself think, I can't afford that, pause and reframe the thought. Try replacing it with an empowering question like, how can I make this possible? How can I make this work? Try this one. What would life look like? Because I'm going to find a way to afford that mindset. Excuse me, I'm going to find a way to afford that investment in myself. What would life look like at that point in time if I do that, if I decide to actually challenge that thinking and find a way to afford that investment that I need to make in myself? What does life really look like? And if you can envision that on the positive and with a positive mindset, with a positive reframing, it's going to look darn good, if you know what I mean. Darn good. Replace either or, those type of words, that language, with both or and. The scarcity mindset sees choice as mutually exclusive. That's the way it looks at it. The abundance mindset looks for opportunities to satisfy multiple options. Instead of, I can't have a fulfilling career and a healthy home life, ask, how can I have a career that allows for a healthy home life? Strategy number 3, embrace collaboration over competition. A zero sum mentality sees others' success as a threat to your own. Adapting an abundant approach turns rivals into potential allies. So we're looking for wins with people. Celebrate others' wins. Celebrate the wins of others. Consciously applaud the achievements of your colleagues and peers. This reinforces the belief that there is enough success to go around and builds a supportive community. Have you ever thought sometimes that, have you ever thought negatively, perhaps about someone's wins? And that could be jealousy, that could be envy, that could be that you're not doing enough. I've been there. Have you been there? If we're going to really challenge ourselves and be honest, yeah. And maybe not necessarily in a jealous way, but perhaps in an envious way, or maybe, yeah, like you have not because you haven't done enough. So you sort of like look at their success as, oh, here we go. There we go again. Kind of like attitude. It's attitude. It's mindset. It's scarcity. It's not abundant thinking. It's not thinking outside the box. It's thinking inside the box. And that box is wrapped so tight you ain't getting out and nothing's getting in. Share your resources freely. Share your resources freely. When you have extra knowledge, resources, or support, offer it to others. This act of giving affirms your own sense of abundance and often creates a cycle of reciprocity. When you start giving what you know away to others to help them, something comes back your way in the form of a blessing. And many times it's just so big that you would never know it will come back that way. So when you start shaking the scarcity thinking about what you have and what you know, and you start giving that away, you start giving away your story, you start giving away your time to the cause of your purpose. You start adding value, you start giving away your value instead of holding it hostage. When you start doing that, things change. Life really, really does change. Number 4, invest in yourself. I would really like to now add this right up there with number 2. Um, and yeah, yeah, really, I really would as I'm looking at that. I would really, really like to add. I would put that right up there. Invest in yourself. Yep. I would have to add this right up there with number 2. Scarcity thinking often leads people to avoid investing in themselves out of fear of loss. I did look at it like that. However, personal growth is a long term investment that builds confidence and resilience. Take calculated risks. Stepping out of your comfort zone is necessary for growth. View potential failures not as losses, not as losses, but as learning opportunities that ultimately increase your capabilities. Let's grow, shall we? Prioritize rest and wellness. Yes. Okay. We better prioritize some rest and wellness out here, okay, as a strategy to subvert um, scarcity thinking. Because a scarcity mindset often leads to burnout by fixating on a single area of need, such as work. Intentionally schedule time for rest, exercise, and social connection to improve your performance and broaden your perspective. And number 5, strategy number 5, this is a good one. Track progress and celebrate small wins. When you are focused on what you lack, it is easy, very easy to forget how far you've come, that you have come a ways. And I was reminded of that. Celebrating your accomplishments builds momentum and reinforces a sense of progress. So you are in motion. And when you celebrate those small wins by achieving those small wins, by setting those goals correctly, then you realize that you're in motion and you're going forward. And when you track the progress of those things happening in your life and you start stacking those things up, they matter. You start seeing that they matter and you start your mind sort of like then it stops thinking about the scarcity about what you have, the lack of, and where you're going. You start thinking about direction. Good morning, Sean. Welcome. So I guess what I'd say is in the breakdown of that, in the tracking progress and celebrate small wins, keep a win list. You have a win list? Write down every personal and professional achievement that you can, no matter how small, and review it regularly because we have a tendency we have short memories sometimes on who we are and what we've done, to be honest with you, and what we've really accomplished, and to realize that we've come such a way. And you do that, you review it regularly because seeing your progress over time when you really take a good look at your time, how long you've been here, is a powerful antidote to feeling better about who you are and where you're going when you're stuck. Reflect on your journey. Set aside time to think about where you were in the past and how you overcame challenges to get where you are today. It's a big deal. This reminds you that you have always had the internal resources to get by. You've always had those resources, reinforcing your self trust. They've always been there, and you'll never have to worry. So you really won't have to worry. And you may, though, about not having enough, because once you see how far you've come, you'll realize what you've always had, and you've always had enough and been enough. So, really, before I start reading comments, I just wanted to say that I hope that you found value and some ways to win with today's podcast. 5 strategies to subvert scarcity thinking and win the day. It's so great to have you all here. Really amazing. And I'm going to read some of these comments, and I'm also going to go and hop back over to Facebook. So just stand by for a minute while I do that. And I want to thank you. I see you, Sonia Dungy. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you here, Icon. Progress is the process, self care and self love. You're getting value. And thank you for the congratulations on my 87th episode. I'm so grateful. I'm trying to read the rest of these comments as I go down. I see that that my good friend uh, Elizabeth Willis is here, and I want to thank her for being here. I believe she's either in Virginia or North Carolina, so I want to thank you, and I want to thank you, Strong Island. Okay, I'm going to hop back over now to Instagram, and I want to thank you. Sean says, "Thank you for the Mitch Race podcast. You're welcome, East Harlem, Sean. Thank you. You're welcome." Nettie says, "Now I never focus on my wins. I think I will start doing that. It helps. We're so busy looking at our failures, but our wins are just as important." Yes, they are, Nettie. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad that that I was able to share that insight and that you found it valuable. And Karen Smith Frazier says, "Yes, we've always been enough." This is someone who really knows it. This is an icon who truly knows that. And Karen Smith Frazier also says, "Given Giving during a period of scarcity is opposite of what you think you should be doing, but it does bring more abundance." It really does, Karen. I'll share an experience with you. I was really, I helped someone in a big way, and I did not have the money, and I did not want to give them the money. I didn't. I just did not. I'm being honest, because I just felt like, okay, I really, really need this money. There's so many things I have to do right now, and my bills were paramount, but it meant a roof over someone's head. And I started thinking about how grateful I was to have a roof over my own head and to have food in my refrigerator and to be able to have a cup of matcha or coffee at my table. And I wondered what life must be like for them, because I know this family and I know they don't have much at all. They have each other, and they don't have the best life. And I began to think about that. And that changed my thinking. It helped. And sorry to get a little kind of just choked up about it, but it really made me think. And I gave. I did just the opposite. I was going to hold on to that. Not, I was really not there, but I'm here. And I want to thank you, Mrs. Flash, for being here in the house. Welcome, Mrs. Flash. You are somebody that knows about abundant thinking. Mrs. Flash says, that's right. And I love you too. And I want to let you know that. I'm glad you can relate, Shah. Karen Smith says, so like that, be more specific with gratitude. Absolutely. And my sister Kat, I think it's Atlanta. Yes, gratitude is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're welcome for the Mitch Race podcast, Sean. If I didn't say that already, you are always welcome. Okay, I'm just going to hop over really quickly again to Facebook. And I want to thank you all for being there. If you commented over on Facebook and I don't see you, it's because it's got this weird kind of scrolling thing that I have to do. And sometimes I don't see it, but I guarantee you that on replay that I will get back to your comments. And I want to just thank you all for being here. So I guess in closing on this podcast, I just want to say this because this is a really important thing that in anything that we say, because I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not any of those things, but I am a podcaster. I do have a voice and I am a coach and I'm a winner, I'm a leader, I'm a champion. And I say that about myself, knowing that to be true. And I have authority in what I do in my purpose and what I talk about. And I'm not just talking willy-nilly. And I'm also a coach in what I do, in self-image, in knowing your value, in raising your self-esteem. I can help you through that because I've been through all of that, and I'm still going through things that I believe that are valuable enough to be able to help you. And that's really where I'm coming from on that. But there are times we need professional help because sometimes not everybody speaks to everyone. And there are some times when it's just overwhelming for people and there is help that's needed. So I want to encourage you out there that are watching, whether it's live or whether it's on the replay, seek help if it's needed. If you've experienced trauma or are feeling overwhelmed, a mental health professional can provide support and guidance. Really, and I'm serious about this because because they're qualified. And that's what we're talking about. Everybody has a space that they can live in and that they're qualified to serve in. And this is the space that I'm qualified to serve in. And that's the space that they're qualified to serve in. And sometimes it requires that space so you can get to the next level, which might be the space that I occupy. And I want that so much for you. I want so much abundance for you. And I want so much happiness in your self-image and knowing your value and being able to translate that to real change and real income and real outcome for you. I really truly want that. And so much, in fact, that I had a masterclass. I did my first masterclass. If you were there, wonderful. And I want to thank you for being there. And if you weren't, I want to also thank you for wanting to be there because maybe you had commitments and you had things going on. And just so thank you for that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your like of the post. Um, keep sharing. Keep sharing these things because this is how we grow and this is how we are able to help others grow. But I did my first masterclass. So happy. It was awesome and amazing for those that were there and including for myself. And just to have the experience of being among people who really want a genuine change in reframing their negative thinking and scarcity mindset. So I'm doing another masterclass coming up Wednesday, October 24th. It's a free masterclass, 4 key steps to reframe negative and scarcity thinking to a positive, abundant, confident self image, sponsored by Reframe University. Let's go, Reframe University. So, again, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm looking for you. If you'd like to just hit the comments and say pre registered, that signifies intent that you will be there. Just pre-registered in the comments, okay? And I'm looking for you to be there, and we'll find the way to get you there formally, okay? I promise you. I see you're still getting value, and I want to thank you again for staying here. And I'm going to, and this is what Shah says. Yes, Trinidad and Shah say. Yes, definitely small wins are just as valuable as big wins. I celebrate those all the time that way. Those of you who know me know that I love it. I love small wins. I love big wins. I just love any win that we can get to win the day. So, win the day, defeat the the scarcity thinking, okay? Change your language to win. Reframe your negative thoughts and words and your language, and let's change and let's grow. This has been the Mitch Race podcast, getting ready to sign off. I want you to have an amazing week, an amazing day. And as always, again, until another, reframe your vision, reframe your value, and reframe your victory. It was awesome being here and seeing you. Thank you for investing your Saturday mornings with me. And I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. Later.